New details in the investigation into the weekend murder of a Chicago police officer.
Nate Rogers is live in Avalon Park with the very latest for us. Nate?
Yeah, that's right. Anthony and Natalie. Fox 32 has confirmed with sources that multiple persons of interest are being questioned right now by Chicago detectives in this case. Take a look at your screen. The city releasing the officer's police photo about 2 hours ago, also officially determining her death as in the line of duty. A 3-year veteran of the department assigned to the 5th District on 111th. Now, she was on track to receive her master's from Loyola University later this week. SWAT teams were seen last night at 76 and Bishop after a man barricaded himself inside a home there. Sources telling Fox 32 he's among the persons of interest being questioned in this case. 24-year-old Ariana Preston was killed right in front of her own home overnight Saturday after just getting off of work, according to police. Multiple sources saying it was a robbery attempt. After police arrived on scene, Preston was laying in the ground. A fellow officer, in fact, transported her body to U of C, where she was pronounced dead. We spoke to Preston's neighbors, who say the immediate area is normally quiet of violent crime.
My son, he said he's seen her quite a few times. He's like, oh, we got a police in the neighborhood. That's good to know. But
just to see it on the news and hear about it, does it break your heart?
Break my heart. I was walking my dog and people, come and hug and crying. And it's just sad. It's really sad that she, like you said, she's finna graduate with her master's. And I just couldn't imagine, my daughter got her master's a couple of years ago and how proud I was for somebody not to even make it.
Yeah, now no official word just yet from police on charges in this case, and we have been in touch with Mayor Brendan-elect's camp, and they've confirmed that he has been in touch with the victim's family. We also know that there is a prayer vigil scheduled tomorrow at Area 5, where the victim worked. That vigil taking place at 6 p.m. It is the latest here in Avalon Park. Nate Rogers.
Hey, shalom, shalom. First thing and foremost, I want to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashim Rakakdash. I'm going to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings and salutation to the hopeful elect. Those in this gospel, broad, lifting up the standard of Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, wherever they may be. This is just a quick lesson through the spirit. Chicago police officer was killed. This article came out two days ago, May 8th. Now, they stated that this was an attempted robbery outside of our house, but that don't really make sense since that area, which what was it, 81st and Blackstone, I believe that's going more, I can't recall, it's been a while since I've been over there, but I believe that's going more west, if I'm not mistaken. It's been a while. But regardless of that, that's a pretty quiet neighborhood, elderly folks. It's not really too much riffraff because they have like block clubs and a lot of cops and stuff live in that area. So it's pretty quiet. So this seems more like a personal attack, if you ask me, because rob a police officer. I don't. Out of all the people you can rob, the fuck you gonna rob a cop for? Like, that's just asking. You're asking for trouble, robbing a police officer. So I don't buy that story. It could have been a personal thing. Could have been a fellow cop. Or it can be capped because, honestly speaking, this shit seems a little patched together, in my opinion. But what I really want to focus on is you women. Okay, now, according to the scriptures, women supposed to be keepers at home. Like the scriptures say, be keepers at home. Now, when you are a cop or a female police officer, you have to serve in a line of duty, meaning that your life can be in jeopardy. And as we know, Chicago was a dark, bloody, and a violent city. So, this is not the place for women to be patrolling law enforcement. And we've seen this time and time again with our women wanting to be something that they're not designed to be. Okay, the roles of confusion, the roles of reversal, men being women, women being men, is becoming to the point that it's really starting to stink because for the simple fact, the scriptures tells the order that women are supposed to be in. Okay, now we have gotten away from the feminine perspective of what women are supposed and what they are created to be to what is a woman, to who dictates what a woman should be and what shouldn't she be. Feminism. This is a form of feminism, giving women's empowerment to do these things, which now she's never coming home. She has a family, a husband, whoever. Okay, which shows you that you're not supposed to be in this field of work. You're supposed to be at home, taking care of the house, in the comforts of your own home, making sure that your husband's legacy is fulfilled. And if you're doing anything outside of your national norm, then you are in danger of judgment. And this is what them bums in my class didn't understand yesterday. They feel like women's empowerment is a good thing, but honestly speaking, women bring nothing but confusion. They bring nothing but confusion and chaos to every formal faction they're in, because women, they bring confusion at this period. Because when women are in the midst, you have all types of problems, okay? You have politics, okay, backbiting, you have fucking promiscuity, all that stuff, man. You know, men have to literally tuck their rods between their legs when you work around women, because they have all these protected rights protecting them. But my thing is, if they have to be overly protected in the workforce, they shouldn't be there in the first place. Okay, because it's like when you suppressing the nature of the male anatomy and the female anatomy, then it's gonna leak out in other ways. So you got women that work with you on the job, they dress promiscuous, like the director of these organizations, man. A lot of times they be like just straight up low-class harlots. You know, they wear these particular skirts, they wear these particular outfits to work, and you got men all around them. And, you know, men being men, you know, they're going to do what they got to do. You know what I'm saying? And then one of them end up catcalling her. He get hits with a harassment charge, then the Me Too, then the jungle law bullshit. Then, you know, here you go, one situation after another. Okay, but see, they call that women empowerment. It's not empowerment, it's confusion. Okay, because the fact that you are being empowered falsely under a false regimen, you're bringing nothing but just straight up just confusion and wickedness everywhere you go. This is why you got those feminists screaming out equal men, equal rights, equal rights, something like that. My body, my this, my that. They want all this equality with men, but when it comes to deal with the consequences, they don't want to deal with it. Like last year, I believe it was last year of 2021. I think it may have been last year when the troops were set to go to Ukraine. And you had this woman, I believe she was like on TikTok or something like that. Basically, she was crying bloody murder because they was getting ready to send her ass over there to war. You know what I'm saying? But she didn't sign up for the military to do that. She signed up to the military to get benefits, okay, to drive a Hellcat, to pose for social media, to give herself some type of self-worth being in the United States military. But what you don't understand, the military purposes is to protect your country. Okay, so when they call you out to war, that's what you have to do, whether man or woman. And that's what you don't understand. You want the benefits of being equal, but you don't want the consequences that comes with being a man. You know, because when push comes to shove, when shit hit the fan, then, you know, they're going to be looking for men to be men. But wait a minute, I thought you wanted equal rights. And this is nothing more than that. And, you know, hey, this is the result of it. Okay, should no women be no cops? For one thing, they don't have proper judgment skills. Now, you can teach people things, okay, but no matter how much you teach somebody, their true nature will always surface in the end, especially when they're put up against adversity, because you only could train for so much, you know, and be in so many simulations until you just be like, you know what, I'm checked out. Okay, like a dog, all right, you could train a dog to be house trained. A dog could be X, Y, and Z, but when you put a dog in his natural habitat, he's going to result back to the beast that he is. I've seen it countless times. Men have these pit bulls or these German shepherds, and they're good dogs, man. They're trained, they listen. And some of them, they don't turn on you. You know, some of them, are, you know, they with you because dogs are very loyal. But in some instances, the dog end up turning on them. You know, and then, you know, people come with the excuse, well, you know, he was abusing the way he raised him. Look, man, it doesn't matter. You can raise something perfect. At the end of the day, it's going to return to its natural habitat, man, because that's how the Lord created it. And she's no different. Okay, so-called black woman in a position of power, and, you know, she's in the spirit world now. Okay, not saying that I'm not mocking her death, but this is, they calling her brave, like all these empty, vain condolences and shit like that. Like, it's all empty and vanity, because at the end of the day, when hell breaks loose, none of you people ain't going to stand on anything you're saying. You know, so it's just like a wait and see approach. But anyway, this is the book of 1 Timothy 2. And I'm going to start at verses 9. It says here, in like manner also that women adorn themselves in modest apparel with shamefacedness. Now, when you're a cop, you can't be shamefacedness, okay? Now, she could, let's say she go home, she could be submissive to her husband. She could do X, Y, and Z. You know what I'm saying? Who said that she wasn't? I'm not saying that she was. I'm not saying that she wasn't. But in most cases, we know that's not the case, especially when you're a police officer. Because being a police officer, that comes with a certain demeanor, a certain type of pride. You know, like I run into firefighters. A lot of times they train in a class right next to ours, man. And honestly speaking, firefighters or firemen and firewomen, they're some of the most proudest, pompous people in the world because they feel like they're fighting fires and, you know, they're part of this academy. They got benefits. They're part of a fraternal order and they feel untouchable. And a lot of times firefighters, man, what they don't tell you is that they make a lot of mistakes when fighting fires, man, because certain things that they don't pick up in training. You know, I've seen it. I've watched firemen let a whole apartment building burn to the ground. I've watched them cut the fucking hose in half when they were supposed to be rolling it up. They cut it. It got tangled up, and two people lost their lives in that fire that night. I know because it was my building that caught fire back in 2016. I mean, they were sitting up there laughing and joking while this building was. They literally could have stopped the fire, but they just let it spiral out of control. You know, and then when the guy was trying to bring the hose in, one of the other guys accidentally cut the hose with the axe. Then the other hose got tangled, and before they was able to unhook that one, shit, the building was damn near gone. You know, and they just sitting out there playing games, and we're sitting here like, I was just sitting there. I'm like, I know they gonna put this fire out. I'm like, I know they ain't finna let this whole building burn down, but it happens. But a certain pride is with these people, and the Most High is getting ready to visit that pride. Okay, it says, adorn themselves in modest apparel with shamefacedness, and that's definitely not the case today. Like when you read this or you try to bring this out today, they would say, well, who wrote the Bible? Well, who wrote your feminist ideologies? A bunch of Edomite men that's hell-bent on world destruction, that wants to enslave people, that wants to cause confusion. That's who wrote your feminist paradigm. But you can't go into that, though. And it says, and with sobriety and not with broided hair or gold or pearls or costly array, but which becoming women professing godliness with good works. But let the woman learn in silence with all subjection. But I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over men, but to be in silence, okay? And when you're a police officer, you're usurping authority over men because she could have had positions over other men. She could have been a supervisor, which they didn't say that. I couldn't get when they say how long she was serving on the force. But even then, they just say if she was to do a traffic stop, okay, if she was to do a search and seize, and to say if it was on a God, then that would be usurping authority over men, which you are not required to do, which you're not, damn, I lost my train of thought. Which you're not supposed to be doing, I'll say it that way. Okay, which is not your job to be usurping authority over men. So a lot of times when men go to these child support hearings, or these domestic violence, which show you the system is corrupt, because we know women are biased anyway when it comes to their rights. You know, they're biased. Women are they're individualists. They're for self first and foremost. But my thing is this: if you're going to a domestic violence dispute or a child support hearing, why the fuck do you have a woman judge? And why is the woman the prosecutor? It's like they deliberately set these people up with biasness in their spirits so they can get the desired outcome. You know, you going before the judge because you and your old lady got into it, and all of a sudden you got a female judge, so happens to be a black woman, and you got a prosecutor that's a fucking black woman. What you think they finna do with you? They're going for the max, man. You know, because they want to put you away, and it's a business, and they want to just corrupt everything. They want to destroy everything. They want things to be straight up out of order. It's all a sick game, man. And you people, you're too blind to pick up on that. Okay? But it says not to usurp authority over the men, but to be in silence. Okay? Meaning shut up. It says, but Adam was first formed, then Eve. And Adam was not deceived, but the woman being deceived was in the transgression. Okay? So that's the point. So you women, man, there's going to come a time that you're going to realize your order. All this feminist, me too, my body, my rights. Oh, I have a voice too. Yeah, we're going to see how much of a voice you're going to have. You're going to definitely have a voice in that day when these men are dragging you in these alleys and ravishing your ass. You're going to have a voice then because you're going to be screaming out for help and nobody's going to come and help you. And it's going to be a pleasure for you people to get what the hell is deserved to you. You know, because all this, see, you people and you women, you talk that nonsense because you're in a protected society. See, you can say that feminist shit and Me Too and we want equal rights, social, economically. You can say that because you're in a protected society that's gonna protect your bullshit. But see, what happens when that goes out the window? You ain't gonna want to be equal no more. Okay? Because like I said, equal lefts, equal rights, equal lefts. Isaiah 32:2. It says, and a man should be as a hiding place from the wind. An Israelite man, okay? Not just a typical simp, suck-ass Jake, man. Because you Jakes, you enable these women. That's the problem. You enable them. You allow them to do you the way that they do you, man, because you enable them. Okay? You beckon down to that call. You bow down to that cause. You know? This is what you do. And then when you don't get the results you want, then, you know, you want to feel some type of way. Then you want to become a red pill guy. And it takes some of you to get burnt to become red pill. Most of the guys that's in the red pill movement because they've been burnt. And they were like, you know what? I ain't dealing with this no more. I'm going to speak out against it. But a lot of you suckers out there, man, you just sit up there and you just get done any kind of... It's disgusting to see how you men simp for these low-level women, man. It's disgusting to see that, how you simp for these women, man. They're not even worth it. They're just not. Look at the way that they behave, man. I mean, they're not even women. And that's what the whole finasco went down yesterday in the class. I'm like, women, females, just because somebody has the female anatomy, you don't deserve to be called a woman. A woman, basically, a wife means woman, or a wife means, and a woman means a servant. You ain't serving your husband, then you're not a woman. I don't give a damn how thick or big your ass is, or how wide your hips is, or how big your breast is. I don't give a damn how much dome you get, man. You're a female with the anatomy of a woman. That's it. You know, and some of you don't even want to be called women. Some of you want to be called females or his and hers or whatever the fuck it is you go by. And it says, in the eyes of them that see should not be dim, and the ears of them that hear should hearken. Because it's going to come a time that people are going to start really taking heed to what the men of the Lord is saying. You know, like I say it all the time, man. You know, the Lord is going to do some miracles out here. Like our camp in Kansas City, man, you only got, probably 4 or 5 sincere brothers out here. You know, my camp, you know what I'm saying? And then you got the young brother out there. Then you got the brother Shala. I haven't heard from him in a minute. You know, hope he's doing okay. I tried to reach out to the brother. His phone was off, so I hope he's okay. But, you know, to me, you only got, 5 or 6 sincere men out here, man. You know what I'm saying, that's doing the work. And I'm not taking away for other brothers out here doing the work, you know, others out here doing the work. But regardless of that, man, we're very small compared to the masses of the city. And when you look at our videos and stuff, I mean, we get hits, but we're not we're a very low-key camp, so to speak. You know, we're not received very well here in Kansas City. And honestly speaking, more people that's not from here vibe with us than the people that are from here. Now, the people in Kansas City, they know about us, they watch us, but they don't really show much support for us because Kansas City is just one of those cities they're still down in their own, they're in the dark somewhere. They're just in la la land, you know. So it's going to come a time that the Lord is going to magnify the men out here and people are going to start to realize shit, because honestly speaking, we get more hate and slack than anything else. But the Most High is going to do a miracle, man. And people are going to start to realize the men of the Lord. Like the elder brother Mike Olive from Dallas always tell me, he said, hey, bro, be ready to judge. He always tells me that, man, every time he see me. First, and I was like, yeah, sure, okay. You know, I ain't blow it off. I believe it and I know it. But it's just like, shit, man, the Lord's going to have to do some serious miracles out here because don't nobody really support our camp out here outside of the people that's not from here. You know what I'm saying? And it's okay. They don't have to support us. But when you look at the numbers, it's like, damn, we got a lot of work to do because these people, they see us. But like, is the Lord going to dead this whole city? Okay, is he going to dead this whole city and only save the very few brothers and their families? Possibly, I don't know. But, you know, in my mind, I like to be a little bit more optimistic. I believe people are going to come in, you know, more when this thing is getting ready to really shut itself down. I believe the Most High is going to give us the power to do miracles out here, man. I really believe that. He's going to take a small group of brothers and we're going to do big things, man. You know, Lord's will, we're those men. So that's why it says, in the eyes of them that shall see should not be dim, and the ears of them that hear shall hearken, because it's going to come a time, oh, these are the men of the Lord. You know, oh, wow, these men, we thought they were crazy, But no, they're actually saying something. You know, and in the heart of the rash also shall understand knowledge, and the tongue of stammerers should be ready to speak plainly. Okay, but I'm going to go down here. Rise up, ye women that are at ease, and hear my voice, ye careless daughters. Give ear unto my speech. Okay, the voice of the Most High is the prophets. It says, give ear unto my speech, you careless daughters. Okay, get out of the fucking American mindset. Do what the hell you're told. You know what I'm saying? Let go of that feminism, which, you know, that's not an overnight thing. It takes time and ultimately the Holy Spirit to dwell in you for you to really let that go and see what's really happening. But most of you going to ride that feminism wave until you get knocked off the surfboard, man. And then it's going to be too late because you're going to be looking for a raft to swim from drowning. Nobody's going to be out there to save you. Like, honestly speaking, I ain't breaking my neck to say no damn woman in that. If you ain't my woman in that day, man, and you ain't my kid or whatever, man, or you ain't supporting this and you ain't like hearken to the men of the Lord, then we don't give a shit, man. I'm not breaking my neck to save any of these women out here, man. Okay? Unless you attach to me. And even then, who knows how the Lord is going to have that? Because you never know, man. You may get separated from your woman and she's going to have to go off faith. She's going to have to believe, you know, unless the Lord have mercy on her. But we're not breaking our neck to save these fucking harlots, these twerking hoes out here, these women that's, you know, all about this system. We're not breaking our neck for that. We're going to walk right past you and say, have a nice day. And I can't wait. You know, all that feminist nonsense is going out the window. Okay. It says, many days and years shall you be troubled, you careless women, for the vintage shall fail and the gathering shall not come. And like I tell my woman all the time, man, I'm like, hey, look, your ass better be on board with this shit when it go down because, hey, you not exempt. All right. When this whole ordeal go down and you ain't vibing, then, hey, you on your own, buddy. I'm not breaking my neck to save anybody that's going to be rebellious, you know. And if we have an understanding on that, then we ain't got nothing to worry about. Okay. So, hey, brothers, look out for the judgment coming. Many days and years shall you be troubled, ye careless women, for the vintage shall fail and the gathering shall not come. Okay. Your systems, your child support systems, your alimony, your jobs, man. They're talking about defaulting on a loan. Trump was basically interviewing with some people with this stupid ass, this Edomite demon, this feminist, you know, basically over talking to man. And he basically said, well, look, man, you're going to default anyway. But the longer you continue to raise the debt ceiling and prolong the default, the worse the default is going to be. And this economy will never recover. It will never recover. Okay, it will never recover. When Trump was allegedly speaking of his recovery back in 2019, 2020, you know, because oil prices, I mean, when Trump was in office, shit, gas was like $1.99. I'm not going to cap. But that C-19 hit. The Most High bought that shit, man, and bam, America was going down the hill ever since then. You know, because actually when Trump was in office, man, shit, Jake was doing fairly decent, if you really think about it. You know, rents was cheap. I mean, you know, rents was steady going up regardless. But regardless of that, you know, things were steady. Things were pretty copacetic, though it was still inflation at a low level. But regardless, it was a lot better than it is now. But this is prophecy, so it is what it is. But tremble, you women that are at ease. Be troubled, you careless ones. Strip you, make you bare. Gird sackcloth upon your loins, man, okay? Meaning humble down and become in a state of mourning. They should lament for the teats and for the pleasant fields. Teats is another way of saying breast. What do you do when you suck on a breast? Okay, you get milk. It says for the fruitful vine. But upon the land of my people should come up thorns and briars, yea, upon all the houses of the joy and the joyous city. Because the palaces shall be forsaken, and the multitude of the cities should be left. The forts and the towers should be for dens forever. A joy of wild asses and a pasture of flocks, man. Okay, because Yahweh Shai, man, he's going to pretty much lay low the haughtiness of America, and we're seeing it happen. We're literally in a decline as we speak. Okay, so anyway, with that, all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Shai. And with that, Shalom and Abba Shalom.